Urkokolamantamos kukurkani, Pianchari kuyay kitang kurkani, Anchaltam faltakuni.
God morgen and happy Freyja's Day to you. I hope this week you have accomplished all that you wanted and that the energy at which we have put out has been returned, that we can heal both the heart and the mind. So I hope that everything has gone well for you this week. As always, I want to say thank you to all of you who have liked, followed, subscribed, hit all the super secret handshakes with all the platforms. And I ask that if you haven't had a chance to like, follow, or subscribe, please do so, as it helps us to get into the algorithms of these platforms, helps us distribute this message further, that we may reach those who need just a little boost in their energies to heal themselves, both, as we mentioned, heart and mind. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to New Reality TV. New Reality TV, a streaming channel with a collection of wonderful perspectives that can offer us some insight and maybe some intellect that'll help us obtain or maintain our mental space. So I hope that you will join me there. As always, my website, norsewhispers.com. There you can find all the information about me, my message, the shows, and certainly an ear to bend if you're looking for some type of life coaching. Finally, before we get started this morning, to give a shout there to the tip jar. For those of you who may have some extra coins jingling around in the old pocket, by all means, feel free to drop them in there. We can use that to continue this message both electronically and across the state. All right, so today we're talking about Freyja. Freyja, of course, being my favorite of all the gods and goddesses. Freyja represents energy. Now, many of you know her as being representing the goddess of love and war. And many have asked me, how can this be? How can she do both of these things? Aren't they diabolically opposed? And no, they are not. They are simply energy directed in a particular way. Anger is just simply energy that doesn't have this kind of ring of joy and love. Many would say that passion, kind of really close to both of these two camps, whether it be love or anger. So it's a matter of energy, and it's a matter of us moving this energy in a way that we deem necessary at the time. So Freyja, and of course, she also brings an understanding of magic. Now, Freyja being very well versed in what was referred to as Seether magic. Seether magic meant that a magician would cast out energy to the surrounding areas, and all of the spirits around us, the Landvedi, the other entities, whether knowingly or not, the gods, and certainly other entities on Midgard here with us, would join in and provide energy kind of in parallel. So I cast a spell using Seether magic, and all of these other energy entities would now provide energy for my spell casting that it comes to fruition. So that was really Seether magic, is kind of relying on the other spiritual entities around us to provide supplementary energy to manifestation. This is kind of verse in addition to what was referred to as Spackraft. Now, Spackraft magic meant that the magic was inside, the energy was inside the magician, and they could utter spells to bring it to manifestation. They didn't need supplementary energy to make it happen. Now, when Freyja taught Odin magic, she taught him seether magic. She taught him how to use all these spiritual entities around to supplement his casting, that he would bring something to fruition. Works. Now, understanding how that energy worked and how that energy moved, ebb and flow from the individual, was really a big part of understanding the magic. Now, the good news is, or the likeliness of this, is that in much the same way we would use seether magic, we use healing magic. Now, magic is simply the manipulation of energies here on the physical plane for us to heal oneself, to us to actually create healing within the body. We're going to use a very similar process, except instead of going out, we're coming in. So we're bringing energy into ourselves. Now, remember, when for those of you who've been following us, you know that when we focus on something, if we put something in our minds, right, whatever it is, say we think about a sibling, okay, for those of us with a sibling, or a good friend for those of you who don't have a sibling, and we're going to put them in our third eye. Now, many people have asked me, what does that mean? How do you put someone in their third eye? Great question. Putting someone in the third eye is simply focusing on them without sensory input. So we'll close our eyes, and what we're going to do is we're going to imagine this person, whoever it is, right? Our sibling or our friend or our spouse or our partner, whoever it is, we're going to put them right here. And I want you to kind of visualize them just standing there, right? Just standing there, maybe sitting, whatever makes you comfortable. But I want you to focus on the details of seeing them, whatever that looks like. So if you have a friend who's sitting in your third eye, okay, remember, eyes are closed. We're using our imagination, our visualization skills to just visualize that person's face, but I want you to focus your attention on their face. I want you to see the creases in their, right here in the corner of their eye. I want you to see how their cheeks are formed down to their, around the lips, their chin, maybe facial hair. I want you to just be as detailed as you can about the image of your friend or sibling. Eyes closed. This is how we put something in our third eye. Now that you have this image in your mind, okay, and you're focused on it, your detailed focus on it, you can see the little stripes in the color rings of their eyes. That's how close I want you to see them, right? Maybe they have freckles, right, across their nose and their cheeks. Just little crinkles in their forehead from, laugh, the bird of laughter or whatever, right? So you're focused on them. When the brain is focused on something, it's going to funnel our outbound energy stream in much the same way that Sparkraft magic worked. So we have this energy. We've absorbed energy all week. We've created our own energy, of course, using the furnace of hope, right? So we've created this energy. We have all this energy. And what we're going to do is we're going to focus on someone. When we do that, when we focus on them, we are funneling energy from us through the aura to them. Okay? Now, the good news is when you're dedicated, you're just super focused on that individual. You don't have to look back at this because we don't think about it while we're doing it, otherwise it kind of messes it up. But when we are that focused on an individual, we are sending them energy, we are blocking out everything else. Nothing else is going to get through now. We are focused on sending that person energy, right? So this is how Spellcraft magic worked. We've got the energy, we're expelling it using either the vocal tones or this focus, right? So we're either saying, I bless you, or I love you, or whatever, right? This is vocalizing the energy, or we're going to focus it in our third eye to that individual. In much the same way, we can do the same thing to ourselves. Now, when you are maybe comfortably sitting in your chair and you're very relaxed and your eyes are closed, but you don't want to go to sleep. You want to stay in the conscious. You want your conscious forward into your physical mind, right? So eyes closed, relaxed, awake. And what you do, instead of putting your friend's face there, is you put your own. Look at you. Many people say, I don't like looking at myself. That's the time you really need to. Okay? Because you're a gift. And don't let anyone convince you otherwise. You are a gift to this reality. Right? You're an absolute blessing because you're offering a perspective that we don't have yet, that no one's introduced us to. And we will never know this information until you reveal it. You are important. Don't let anyone kid you, right? So, when we're focusing now, in much the same way that we thought about our friend or our sibling, right? In much the same way, we're going to think about us, right? Now, many people say, oh, well, do I focus on a particular part of my body? What? Your face. Always focus on the face. Here's what's going to happen. As the energy that we emit goes out, remember, we're focused on us. In the aura, we're going to know that. We're going to know that we're focused on us. We're going to loop that energy back through the aura to us. Okay? When this energy that we're sending ourselves arrives, it's going to arrive at the crown chakra. It's going to travel down through the body. And your body knows what to heal, knows where to put this energy, this healing energy. Don't believe me? Go, when you get a little older, say, and your beard starts turning white, for those of you who have a beard, when we go to bed, we're achy, we're tired, we're just, all of our joints may hurt, something of the nature, right? When we go to sleep, notice how we get a good night's rest. We wake up in the morning and those aches and pains are temporarily gone. Okay? This is the process of healing from the spiritual realm, right? because when we fall asleep, of course, our consciousness slides back from the physical mind to the spiritual mind, where we're now in contact with the spiritual realm, okay? The infinity that is the spiritual realm. And part of that is to draw in energy from that realm to heal the body. Many say, oh, well, it's just time doing its thing. Yeah, okay, well, call it whatever you want. I know that this energy is returning to us from the spiritual realm. Now, this is the knowledge, this is the intellect that Freyja brings to us. Freyja teaching us, those here in Midgard, the power of magic. Magic is simply the manipulation of energies on the physical plane. Magic can be used for manifestation, it can be used for healing, it can be used for order in the chaos of our minds. Okay, we can use this magical energy or universal energy to do all kinds of things, right? Manifestation on the physical plane, of course, being one. Communication with ancestry, another. Healing, the physical form, healing other forms, helping others to heal. All of these kinds of things can be done with this energy that's arriving to us. When we're sleeping, it's just natural. It's what it is. Okay? When we're in our physical sensory input or our physical mind, now we need to focus that energy, because if our consciousness, most often than not, consciousnesses only touch 2 of the 3 parts of our mind. Typically, when we're awake, it will touch our physical sensory input mind, and it'll touch our memories. Okay? Those are very key parts of our mind. When we're asleep, that consciousness releases, right? Falls back, and now it's in contact with the spiritual mind and memories. When we are enlightened, when we are able to learn all there is in the spiritual energy and the spiritual path, our consciousness becomes larger. Okay? And what eventually happens is that it becomes large enough where it can be in contact with our physical sensory input, our memories, and our spiritual mind all at the same time. This means that we're drawing spiritual energy all the way forward into our physical reality. Okay? Our brain, our physical brain now interprets this 6th sense, if you will. That's when we have a connection between these 3 parts of our brain. Super important that we understand, and this is the knowledge, the wisdom that Freyja brings to us. This understanding of the management of energy, right? So she really, and she brought that whole knowledge to, of course, to Othin, as she would teach him magic of the realms. She also brings it to Midgard, and these are the lessons that she would teach. This is also why we see her kind of able to be the goddess of love and the goddess of war, all in the same incarnation. Why? Because she understood the energies between these 2 emotional states and knew that based on whatever was going on, whatever energy she was receiving, how she directed that energy internally was up to her. So she could be loving and or warriorous at just, depending on what she wanted, where she wanted to go that day, just like us. Okay? We can do the same thing. We're receiving energy all day long, all day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year without fail, right? We are receiving energy. And this energy can be used for a multitude of things. It can be used for anger. It can be used for frustration. It could be used for those things, disappointment and those other unwanted states of mind. Or it could be used to love, to provide harmony, to collectively bring us together as a people, right? So all wrapping together. So that's what this energy can do. The choice as to whether we're going to be one way or another is up to us, right? And we can make this choice. Remember, the human form, the physical human form, seeks, desires ultimately to be loved, to be at peace, to be comfortable, and to be fulfilled or content. Right? It seeks that harmony with its fellow life forms, with all energy bearing life forms. Okay? Anything, remember, anything that has the life force moves energy. So the grass in our yard, the trees in our yards, the shrubbery, our familiars, pets, our fellow humans. All of us move energy, and all of us are making a decision as to what energy we're emitting, casting out. Remember, all the energy that comes into us, we're going to cast out. We're going to, as we experience the reality before us, we're pushing out energy. This is why many times when you go into a room, you can kind of feel your way through the room, right? You can feel your way through the room because your aura is picking up that energy signal or a signature that says this is this person's state of mind, whatever that happens to be. You can find the joyous and the truly happy people. You can find the angry or frustrated or disappointed people. You can point them out in a room. Why? Because the energy signature of their aura displays where they're at in their frame of mind. When we talk about being the change, and we spoke about this Wednesday night, rather, on Sporgsmall, when we want to be that change, we must follow and there's a song, Bobby McFerrin, I believe was his name, was the artist who sang it, and it was Be Happy was the name of the song. Be happy. This is how you create energy that you're emitting everywhere you go. So you become this little beacon of happiness, if you will. And many around you, albeit they won't say it, they won't demonstrate it, they won't, turn on lights or, signals, or even they won't tell you, but they're absorbing that energy. They are just, we're all this way. So we're all absorbing your energy. And if your energy is these unwanted states, this is what you're passing around as we're moving around in this reality. We're having our experiences. But if you think about it and you focus a little bit and you start thinking, what a wonderful life. What a wonderful way to be. I'm now beginning to cast energies, positive, light energy, everywhere I go. And all of the people around me are benefiting from my energy, from my positivity, from my light, right? And so this is really where we become the gifts. We become a benefit to our fellow life forms. We're beginning to cast out this energy that may just be the catalyst that moves someone in our circles to the other side. They may say, they may be just on the verge of sadness or anger, and then here you come along with your happy, bubbly, just joyful energy, infuse it in them, and all of a sudden, now they're going to have a wonderful day. Life is going to be good. They're going to bring in that energy. They're going to heal. They're going to heal themselves. They're going to heal their friends, their family. They're going to propagate the energy that you gave them. Sometimes they may not even do it consciously. It may just get pushed back, and spiritually now we're just moving that energy through us out to those around us. So it's a beautiful gift. As we close out today, I want you to take some time and think about you. I want you to heal yourself. The way we're going to do that is, of course, everything kind of comes down to meditation, or as I like to refer to it as, intrinsic reflection. But I want you to, as we did the little exercise here today, so I want you to close your eyes, relax, be very comfortable but not asleep, and I want you to put a vision of you in your mind. Just the details. See all the, and I say this in fun, but all your crow's feet, your little creases, the things that make you, right? Just picture you very close up. Now, for many of us, we may not know what that looks like. A selfie camera right up here, or a mirror, all of these things will be beneficial for you to look at yourself with that detailed, the details in your third eye. And again, now that we're focused on ourselves, we're sending ourselves energy, and we're now creating a healing path within the self. And this is really a great thing to practice now that the work week is over. All right, so take some time tonight, tomorrow, maybe even Sunday, where we're going to spend time, intrinsic reflection, right, with ourselves, detailed self in our third eye. Again, this will create energy. All right, my friends, it is the weekend. I wish you the very best. I hope that all your dreams and hopes manifest themselves in your life, and that you're able to find all that you seek. Remember, my great-grandfather used to always say, seek it and you will find it. If you seek joy and peace and love and harmony, you will find it. It is abundant in this realm. But if you focus on the negatives, you will find those as well. So be positive, focus on the positive, and you will find it. All right, enjoy your weekend. I wish you the very best, and we will see you again when we celebrate Mani, the god of the moon, and represents control of the mind, represents that mental control that we can use. All right, I wish you the very best weekend, and we will see you again on Mani's Day. Love and light, my friends.